Chismosas, Pepe Aguilar just did a podcast where he revealed how scared Christian Nodal was of him in the beginning and how he feels like he is to blame for Ángel Aguilar and Christian Nodal ultimately getting married. But don't take my word for it, let me show you the clip.
¿Quién es más bravo, tú o tu esposa?
Es que depende de la situación, pues. O sea, yo creo que todos somos bravos.
¿Pero quién es más alcahueta? Porque siempre hay un papá más
100% su mamá.
alcahueta. ¿Sí?
Sí, o sea, 300% su mamá. Alcahueta, sí. Brava, aguas. Ella y yo también, pero no en todos los días. No es una característica, pues.
¿Y con el nuero? ¿Eres muy bravo?
No.
Dice que nuero. ¡Yerno!
También dile nuero, el cabrón. No pasa nada. No, somos amigos.
¿Qué nuero?
Somos amigos. Bueno,
El
puede ser
abuelo.
mi hijo, el güey, pues, obviamente, pero somos amigos. Muy respetuoso, miedoso al principio. Pensaba que iba a ser bravo, pero no. ¿Por qué? Pues así es la vida. Yo lo contraté a él cuando estaba chiquillo, cuando tenía él 18 años.
¿Para hacer qué?
Pues lo contraté en una gira. No, 18, tenía 20 años o 19 por ahí.
Peladito.
Pero sí lo contraté. Ahí conoció a Ángela, pero Ángela ahí tenía 14 años. Entonces, pero no, o sea, no hubo nada ahí, pues. Claro. Pero ahí se conocieron. O sea, que pudiera ser yo el culpable de que estos cabrones estén casados.
De hecho, sí.
Sí.
De hecho, sí. O sea, acción, reacción. Toda acción tiene una consecuencia.
Now, for those of you guys who need a translation, let's get into it. Now, for those of you guys that need a translation, let's get into it. Now, first of all, I need to go ahead and preface this by saying I was trying to figure out what the actual translation to bravo is, where she's asking who is more bravo in the relationship, you or your wife, to Pepe Aguilar. Now, bravo, I guess, can be translated directly to brave, but it's usually used more in a connotation in Spanish, like aggressive or intense. And Pepe is like, both of us are, but he ultimately says that his wife is a lot more lenient specifically to Ángel Aguilar. And then the interviewer goes like, oh, are you bravo? Are you aggressive or intense with your son-in-law, which is our boy Christian Nodal? And he was like, no, I'm not. But he was definitely afraid that I was going to be in the beginning. You can tell that he was very afraid of me. But then he goes on to say, but we have a good relationship because I feel like he is like my friend, even though like I'm much older than him and he could be my son. And then he starts going into detail about how he was the one that ultimately brought Nodal into Ángela's life. Because he's like, oh, I actually put him in a contract to be with me on tour when he was only like 18, 19 or 20, around there. And that's actually when he first met Ángela. But then he goes and he's like, oh yeah, but she was 14 at that time, so nothing actually happened. And you can even tell the interviewer was like, nothing happened, which is tea of it itself, her reaction. But he goes on to say, so ultimately, I guess I could be the one that is said to be to blame for this actual marriage. I find it very funny that he goes and he says that I am to blame for the marriage, like if it was something negative. That ultimately seemed a little sus wording in my opinion. But I also think it's very funny that he was straight up said, oh, Christian Nodal is like really afraid of me, or like my reaction of him dating Ángela. Ultimately, I guess is what he's trying to say. But I mean, from these pictures, you can tell that Christian still looks like he's dead ass afraid of Pepe Aguilar. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm very curious to know what you guys think about this interview. Let me know down below in the comments, and don't forget to like and follow for more gossip, chisme, and all things tea.